We welcome you to the Arizona Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix for this Millennium Edition of Bowling's U.S. Open presented by AMF. Right now, let's meet the players, starting with our lady finalists. The opening women's match features the number 4 qualifier in her rookie season as a professional, making her 3rd career telecast, seeking her first title from Orange, California, Tennille Grijalva. Our number 3 qualifier won the U.S. Open and was crowned Rookie of the Year in 1996. Now the holder of 6 professional titles from Cheektowaga, New York, Liz Johnson. Next up, qualifying number 2, this 1998 Bowler of the Year already won a title in 2000, bringing her total to 15. A U.S. Open victory will complete her triple crown. All the way from Morley, Perth, Australia, Carol Giannotti-Block. And leading this talented field is an accomplished amateur. She's a 3-time member of Team USA, was Amateur Bowler of the Year in 1999, and is an FIQ World Champion from Union, New Jersey, Kelly Kulik. On the men's side, the opening men's match will feature a 19-time champion trying to become the 5th person in PBA history to win the Triple Crown, the 4th qualifier from Claremont, Florida, Norm Duke. Bowling against him is the number 3 qualifier. He's the reigning PBA Rookie of the Year, seeking his first win from Bedford, Texas, Paul Fleming. And rounding out the first match is the number 2 qualifier. He's after his first title since 1992 from Sandusky, Ohio, Jeff Lizzie. And our tournament leader is a former U.S. National Amateur Champion, also seeking his first title from Simi Valley, California, Robert Smith. And here is your final 8 in the 2000 U.S. Open. Hello, everyone. I'm Gary Seibel, along with PWBA champion Jan Schmidt. And you know, we have a unique format for you this year, as both the men's and women's championship finals held in just one afternoon. And Jan, as far as the prize money is concerned, equal right across the board.
And it's been equal for 3 years, ever since AMF's been the sponsor, $35,000 on top for each winner. On behalf of the women, we're very grateful, but you know, it's about time.
Well, we're certainly not going to argue with that. How about the conditions of these AMF lanes here today at the Coliseum?
Well, I talked to the players ahead of time when they were warming up. They have a lot more hook than they had over at Christown Lanes. They're on synthetics now versus wood, and they're looking for high scores.
Now, who's impressed you the most this week in the bowling action, and who bears watching today in the finals?
Well, I think Carol Giannotti-Block has impressed me the most, at least mentally. For 13 years, this has been a main goal of hers to win a U.S. Open championship, and it would cap off her triple crown. She also has the weight of a country on her shoulders. Australia, if she would win here this year, she'd only become the 2nd international woman to win a U.S. Open crown or an All-Star crown in 50 years of competition. She definitely has the most experience by far, and that could give her the edge to win today. Let's not forget Kelly Kulik, though, top seed, and hey, she's an amateur. She has nothing to lose. Sometimes that's enough to allow you to win.
And we are set now for the semifinal matchup in the women's 2000 U.S. Open. again, equal prize money across the board. $35,000 to the women's winner, $35,000 to the men's winner today. Up first, Tennille Grijalva. Her first shot in the first frame of the semifinal match, and she makes it count in a big way.
Hard to believe that she is just in her first year on tour. Would never know it with that opening shot at a U.S. Open.
And now, Carol Giannotti Block, 15 titles to her credit. Goes Brooklyn, gets the job done.
I don't think Carol cares how she gets the job done today. Of course, you want to do your best, but as I just said, this is so important to her.
They move quickly in the semifinal match. Here is Liz Johnson, and she follows suit as well.
Well, they were certainly right when they told me they're looking for high scores. Strikes around. The ladies bowled on really challenging conditions. The men did also this week at the U.S. Open. And so now for them, these conditions seem easier.
Here is Grijalva, and she has opened up with strikes in the first and second frames.
And it's just her third career telecast, Gary. She made a show in a Queens event in '98 and then earlier this year in Mesa. So, boy, she doesn't look nervous at all. None of the ladies do.
Once again, Giannotti Block. And even though she goes through the head pin, trying to go Brooklyn once again, gets all of them to go down.
Well, maybe it's an Australia thing. No, I know Carol's embarrassed right now. You saw her cover her face. Right now she's brushing off her shoe. She's had a little bit of footing problems all week, sliding a little too much. It's a good tip to brush your shoe. It'll help you grip that approach.
And there is the 7-pin leave for Liz Johnson.
Came up just a little bit high. As I said, a lot more hook. You watch the ball going right through the head pin. She was fortunate to kick out the 10. Should be an easy spare for her. She throws the ball fairly straight at it, just a little bit of hook at the back end.
And so Liz Johnson converts on the spare. However, Johnson down by 10 as Grijalva and Giannotti Block both open up with strikes. So they are dead even. Liz Johnson falling behind after 2 by 10 pins. But again, it is early. They do move quickly. Once again, on the approach for the third frame is Tennille Grijalva. 23-year-old, enjoys golf, crafts, nicknamed 1010.
But she's a lot of fun, too. And again, going high, I think it's going to be an adjustment for all the players after bowling for 7 days on what they consider tight lane conditions, not a lot of hook. They really have to make an adjustment, change their arm swing, and open up the lane a little more. Carol Giannotti Block is best suited to this fast play. She loves to bowl quick, don't blink, you'll miss her, and it's good for her game.
And Giannotti Block leaves the 10, which she'll try to convert. After Grijalva goes after her 3-6-10 and gets that job done nicely. So the spare pickup from Grijalva, so she opens up with a couple of strikes at a spare. And down 2 presently to Giannotti Block, who also converts.
And Carol Giannotti Block, one of the rare players that does not use a spare ball in this day and age. She just breaks her wrist back and flattens up the ball to shoot those corner pins. Very unusual with the professionals. Most of the women use spare balls.
Liz Johnson now, her first shot in the third frame, and clean off the slate. Johnson returns with a strike, and she is down by 9. Well, bowling's U.S. Open is being brought to you by AMF. AMF always means fun. Dickies. As well, a legend in work. That is Dickies. BPAA, the Bowling Proprietors Association of America, bringing you America's premier bowling competition. And Nu Skin stays on when bandages fall off. For the most complete wrap-up in sports, be sure to watch the National Sports Report nightly at 10 p.m. at midnight on Fox Sports Net. We are back to bowling at the Arizona Veterans Memorial Coliseum, the U.S. Open 2000 edition, and it is the 2 with the 8 sleeper behind for Carol Giannotti Block, which is a fairly difficult shot to make, isn't it, Jen?
It can be a tough shot to make depending upon lane conditions. They told me the middle of the lanes are hooking, which can make it pretty difficult. If you have some oil or hang to your right and some hook to the middle, it can be a tough spare, and there's a real tough spare for Liz Johnson.
And here's the attempt of a 2-8 for Giannotti Block, and she had it covered perfectly.
She did. She chose to hook the ball at it, and that's usually the best choice. If you have a good shot to the pocket, just make a small move.
And now Johnson going to have a lot more difficulty with this 4, 6, and 10.
All she's going for is the wood on that. It's very rarely picked up, and she wanted to save the 2 pins because she's working on a strike.
As we recap the scores, Grijalva is in the lead, 22 over Johnson, 8 over Giannotti Block. And Grijalva just leaving the 2.
Now they're starting to come out up light. You can see the players starting to make those adjustments for going high and hitting the nose. They're starting to move on the lane, getting the ball out a little bit more, but now they're coming light.
Giannotti Block now. Sounded good and looked good.
And it was good, and it was in the pocket, and she's proud of that. Just caught a glimpse of Larry Lobb looking on, and Betty Morris. Great bowlers.
And Grijalva converts the spare in her 6th frame in the women's semifinal. She is up by 7 over Giannotti Block and 21 over Liz Johnson, but looks quite composed right now as she awaits her turn.
Liz Johnson experienced with the arena crowds when she won the U.S. Open in '96. It was in an arena, so she's used to the noise.
Beautiful music. Liz Johnson converts the strike, picks it up. We are through 6 frames here in the women's semifinal of the U.S. Open. More to come on Fox Sports Net. And welcome back to the U.S. Open, Phoenix, Arizona. Presently, it is Tennille Grijalva in command here over both Giannotti Block and Liz Johnson. Right now, let's go trackside and laneside as well to Randy Peterson. Randy?
I'm here with Kelly Kulick, and Kelly, member of Team USA, lots of international experience. However, the only non-professional in the finals. You're bowling for the U.S. Open title, young lady. Can you pull it off?
I hope so. I'm just going to try and give it my best shot possible.
What are some of your keys for success today?
Today, just to stay down when I release the ball and think long with the ball and get it down the lane as best I can.
Best of luck. Gary?
All right, 12-time PBA champion Randy Peterson will be joining us for the women's final, and then he'll take us through the men's semifinal and final action as well, along with our other broadcast partner, Jan Schmidt. We were watching Tennille Grijalva finish out there in the 8th frame of the women's semifinal. Here's Giannotti Block, and Jan, she has to continue to strike just to remain close to Grijalva here, who's certainly been on fire.
Absolutely, and that was a big shot for Carol Giannotti Block. She trails by just 4 pins, but she set herself up to take the lead in the 9th frame because of that strike.
Liz Johnson down by 18 entering the 9th, and Jan, the 9th frame so important, and that's the way to conduct yourself in the 9th frame.
Absolutely, she's setting it up for that 9th frame, and Liz Johnson playing a completely different angle from the other 2 players.
8 frames now complete, but still it is Tennille Grijalva in command. And Liz Johnson did get a strike in the 8th. We'll have that up for you shortly. And again, she still trails by 18, though. Here is your women's semifinal leader, Tennille Grijalva of Orange, California. This is her rookie year. She's already made 2 shows.
Key shot in the 9th frame, Gary. Had to have it.
And if she continues to bowl like that, we will see her in the women's final against the top seed, amateur Kelly Kulick.
Well, this is the shot for Carol Giannotti Block right here because she can take the lead with a strike here. This is for a change of lead.
Oh, and Jan, obviously, right on the head pin. And this, not that difficult to spare to convert, but what does that do to her overall in the scoring position in the 9th frame?
It hurts her a lot because Tennille has a strike up, and you're right, Gary, they usually pick up this spare. This is the baby split. She wants to hit both pins with the ball. Liz Johnson on a strike still has an outside chance. staying alive.
Staying alive in the ninth for Johnson Ho, but Giannotti Block has hurt herself tremendously opening in the ninth frame.
I would have never guessed that. That was a disastrous frame for Carol Giannotti Block. Best
she is down by 16 now.
Yeah, the best she could shoot would be 207, and she knows it.
Tough break for her, coming off elbow surgery, saying she's finally feeling like she's getting back to her old form. Here's your leader. Gets a little lucky and just leaves the two standing.
Yeah, fortunate that she can pick this spirit. She had an opportunity to close out this match and didn't take it. But she's young and inexperienced and late leaving the two-pin.
Giannotti Block can't get the 10 to fall. And a possible 207 for, I'll make that a 197, excuse me. Possible 197, there it is.
Yeah, Carol Giannotti Block has no chance to win this match right now. Tennille Grijalva can shoot 213, but Liz Johnson can step up and win this. What a turn of events.
Liz Johnson working on a double heading into the 10th frame. And of course important for Grijalva to get the most as she can on her fill ball. She does. She picks up the strike.
Pin count really important because it's a matter of whether Liz is going to have to throw one or two strikes.
And so Grijalva finishing out with 213, Giannotti Block 197, and here a possible 225 for Liz Johnson. She'll need 3 to accomplish that.
She has to strike on this ball or Tennille Grijalva is the winner.
Oh, and comes in high and leaves the 3 and the 6.
Well, the rookie did pretty well in her opening match here at a U.S. Open.
And so there is a look at the winner of the women's semifinal match. Rookie on the tour, Tennille Grijalva.
When you saw her looking back, I think she was trying to find out, hey, did I really win?
And so, composed but ready to go is Tennille Grijalva, the winner of the women's semifinal match in this year's U.S. Open. More from Phoenix in a moment. And welcome back to the Arizona Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix, Arizona for this year's U.S. Open. And there you see it. Tennille Grijalva, 213, a winner over both Giannotti Block and Liz Johnson. She will advance to the women's final against Kelly Kulick. Before becoming AMF's president and CEO, Roland Smith was president of Arby's and spent several years in the quick service restaurant industry. We caught up with Roland last week in AFF's hometown of Richmond, Virginia, and asked him to tell us what's new in AMF.
We really do have a lot going on at AMF. For example, we've just launched what we're calling AMF's Extreme Summer. Extreme is an automated light and sound package that includes laser lights and black lights and a terrific sound system. It really turns the center into a high-energy party atmosphere. It's really great for the 20 to 30-somethings, but it also adds a fresh new twist to corporate parties and charity events and also birthdays. You know, with Extreme, the music really makes the difference. And that's why groups can pick from anything as varied as rock and roll to Christian. We even have a group of seniors down in Florida that are bowling to swing. You know, Extreme is great for open bowlers, but we're also spending a lot of time and attention on our league bowlers. That's why we spent almost $50 million to improve and upgrade our centers. We're also improving our food and beverage menu, and we've added lane service. On the product side of our business, we've just introduced a couple of great new balls, and we're about to reintroduce our new boss scoring system. So as you can see, there's a lot new at AMF, and it's keeping us pretty busy.
And other finishers in this year's U.S. Open.
Anne-Marie Dugan just missing out again. She's bowling great this year. Amanda Bradley, she's a 99 AMF World Cup champ out here. Few more, Kim Adler, there's your defending champ. She finished 13th. Yuling Wang from Chinese Taipei throws that spinner, that helicopter ball. She did great in this event. Jody Ellis, all the way from South Africa. There's the international flair, Kathy Dorn, fiance of Jeff Lizzie, who you'll see later on in the match. Great field here.
And there are your top 24, the women's side from match play. Enjoy the week here in warm Phoenix, Arizona. There a look at Kelly Kulick. Again, Jan, this is an amateur as the top qualifier in the U.S. Open.
That's amazing. It doesn't happen very often.
And there the handshake between two fierce competitors. Two young competitors as well to be in this position and under so much pressure. And right now joining us here in the booth, my buddy, friend, 12-time PBA champion, Randy Peterson.
Thanks for having me, Gary, Jan.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you.
Gary, one of these two ladies are going to win their first title. Neither one has a professional title yet.
Nice title to win for your first one, huh?
Yeah.
U.S. Open.
Shake it off, huh?
Yeah.
And there is your #1 seed, top qualifier, Kelly Kulick, Union, New Jersey, Team USA member for 3 years. This is her last year, Team USA. She bowled for Morehead State University, one of the top collegiate bowling squads in the country. They call her Double K. Can you guys figure out why that might be?
Jan would probably know. I have no idea.
Let me think. Kelly Kulick.
All right.
Spelled K-U-L-I-C-K.
And Kelly starts out leaving herself a baby split there, the 310.
Exactly. We just saw Carol Giannotti Block shoot at it and was not able to convert. Again, she wants to hit both pins with the ball, ideally. There are alternatives, but she's not going to try them.
Here's her attempt at the spare. Nicely done.
Perfect.
So Kelly Kulick with a spare in the first frame. Tennille Grijalva working on a strike.
And again, both these players, you probably haven't seen them much before. You've only seen Kelly Kulick do it in a double show with Marianne DeRupo, never on a PWBA telecast or any professional event.
As you point out, never have seen these two bowlers before, and that is a 7-pin lead for Kelly Kulick.
Well, she's going to just try to convert and stay clean through these first couple of frames.
Kind of a bad break there. That ball is dead flush, leaves a stone 7. I'd be like, hey, well, I made the baby split. I'm off the schneid. All right, I'm getting my feet underneath me. I go ahead and stone 7. I'd be kicking the ball return.
Hey, well, you would, but that's the...
That's right. Kelly looks a lot more composed than you would, my friend.
I mean, most of the women don't do that. Occasionally.
Well, that's true.
Occasionally they may. Yeah. Usually we get hurt when we do, so we try not to.
Nice conversion on the 7-pin, though.
Sounds like Mr. Peterson trying to stir up a little controversy here.
Never.
Okay.
You know me. I always avoid controversy.
That's what I've heard.
Tennille Grijalva back on the approach here for her second frame first shot, and she's got the 10-pin remaining.
She looks good, though. She's just hitting the pocket, converting all of her spares. She's having fun. She's smiling, playing way out on the lane, ball coming in very late. The 6-pin just lays down in front of the 10. She was hoping it would be enough to push it over, but unfortunately not. Both of these players, though, nothing to lose for them. To me, I think they have nothing to lose. They have the whole career ahead of them. And if they don't win, so what? They think they're going to have, 20 more opportunities.
I agree, 100%. In Tennille, what a performance that first match. I mean, she went against a couple of heavy hitters and just mowed them.
Well, Tennille getting married on December 16th at Knott's Berry Farm, which is an amusement park in their home county of Orange County, Buena Park, California.
Better shot. No doubt about that one.
I'm really impressed with her. She just gets up there and goes, oh, hold on. Now let me throw a little 10 back.
She's so easygoing. She's a very personable young lady, and you can see it in her bowling. And if she can keep that attitude, that's the challenge, Randy. We both know.
Right.
It's hard to keep that as you start having heartbreak after heartbreak and injury and letdown. It's tough to keep that attitude. But if she can, hey, she's going to be really tough.
Well, they're young, too, so that helps.
Ooh, high again for Kelly Kulick. She looks a little slow to me also. It's a little soft on her speed, too.
Well, both shots high and both shots on the right lane. You know, the 310 the first shot, very lucky to avoid a split there, but, you know, leaves a 310 the first shot on that lane. Was it nerves? Was it a bad shot? You know, or is it the lanes breaking down prior to, you know, she did have practice on it. Maybe it's time to make a move on that lane.
Finds herself down by 2.
And that's where the experience comes into play on television, Randy. It's a total different atmosphere than when you're bowling throughout the week. You have to make those moves quick. That match is gone.
Yep.
Nothing flat.
Yeah, you know, there's no second guessing on TV. You've got one game, and you know, you just have to trust trust your instincts. Make the move.
As we said, Kelly Kulick trailing by 2 as she is up on the approach in the 4th. And guys, how difficult is it to bowl during the week at one venue and then move to a venue completely different, such as this?
Well, I mean, the pros are used to it. The pros bowl in a different place every week, and so they're used to adjusting. I think, though, for a tournament leader especially, when they've led on one particular condition and one lane surface, and then they have to come for the finals on a different lane surface, sometimes it's a little maybe unfair to the tournament leader. Let's look at the spare maker, the baby split we've been talking about, and the arrow's showing you exactly what I've said. The ball should hit both pins, the 3 and the 10. Sliding by.
And what happened there, besides the fact that she only converted the 10?
She just caught a little more conditioner than she expected. The ball continued to slide. She was playing that with a little hook instead of playing it totally straight with a plastic ball.
It is still early, but now Kulick down by 15 to Grijalva, who certainly seems to have all the composure in the world for a 23-year-old in a major championship final match.
That one a little wide.
Oh, come on, baby! Oh,
Rocking, but not rolling, huh?
doing a little shaking up there. You know, the other thing that Tennille has going for her is she's got one match under her belt.
Came in light, everything pushing at the 7, hit 3 times. The audience is trying to get it down on the replay.
Yeah, we better check that pin.
And Grijalva makes the spare in the 4th, still up by 15. We are through 4, and a look at a couple of the youngsters here, possibly future professional bowlers. What a guy, the kid on the left looks a little bit like a young Randy Peterson.
He does.
Very young Randy Peterson.
Yeah, he does. I was going to say, hey, they may be competing against you in a few years, Randy.
Bless that child.
Well,
okay.
Good luck.
Better looking than Randy Peterson, but still a young Randy Peterson.
You want a piece of me? Hit it. Oh, there you go. All right, that was the break she was looking for the shot before.
7 and 8 both fell late on that shot. Ball very, very late, sliding longer and longer in behind the head pin. Look at the 8 pin, then the 7. Come on, give it to me. Oh, yeah.
Amazing concentration on her part. Her eyes never left the pins.
Oh, that was a bad shot. Sent that way right. You know, I watched Kelly all last night, and her push away is very deliberate. And when she pushed it just a little too far out, she would sail it right every time. She got a little too deliberate with that push away.
You know, a lot of times, one bad shot leads to another bad shot. 2 shots on that lane, both went high, forces her into another bad shot, missing right.
Good point. Well, she needs to convert the 1-2-4. She's going to have to try to get lined up, especially on lane 2, having a lot of problems.
And nicely done by Kelly Kulick to pick up the spare in frame number 5. We are, in fact, halfway through the championship match in this year's Women's U.S. Open.
And let's not forget, I mean, she's only down 15 pins. It's halfway point. But, you know, this young lady right here dominated a field that had nothing but international players, the best of women's professional bowling, the best women players in the world. She led the field for the entire week on a grind, brutal condition.
Absolutely. She was consistent throughout the week, too, and that's what it takes on a condition like that, and to keep your head together and on a condition like that, and now come out here and a little bit higher scores. But she also said she'd be a little nervous about bowling by herself. You see, she crossed over on that shot, leaving the 6 pin. She just is not lined up at all right now. She's fishing, And when you get like that, sometimes you start scrambling, you don't execute either.
Yeah, that's a really bad place to be.
And so, Kelly Kulik does get the spare through 5.5. Women's U.S. Open final. We'll be back in a moment. And welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona, Arizona Veterans Memorial Coliseum, and take a look at the current score in the Women's U.S. Open final. Presently, Kelly Kulik down by 16 to Tennille Grijalva, who won the women's semifinal and continues on a very strong roll here in the championship match. Gary Seibel along with Randy Peterson and Jan Schmidt bringing you the action from the Coliseum here in Phoenix.
Oh, baby!
She has that light shot working for her now.
She's got her groove thing going on here. You know, she could have had a 4-bagger easily. She carries that swish and 7 in the 4th.
Coming in real light again, but blowing everything left. She doesn't need to move. I wouldn't move.
Fearless. I wouldn't move off of that either.
No, absolutely not. Appears to have a little bit of room each way.
Got some confidence in making good shots. You know, the ball, the pins know when you're pinching it at release. Trust me.
You would think they know, don't you? Oh, see? Now, lost that one off her hand a bit.
Oh, that's known as a good break.
Yeah, she lost it. A little bit of double dribble there. Broke into a roll early and came up high, but hey, 4-pin falling back.
And still focused in, yeah. Take a look at this. What a look.
I think she was saying, wow, I got away with it. Did it really happen? Did I really get that break?
Gut check time for Kelly.
And time now to take a look at the Dexter footwork of the pros.
Top seed Kelly Kulik, she has a 5-step approach, slides that first step, kind of a medium slide here, and she doesn't want to slide too much. She's wearing the Dexter shoes, number 4 sole, number 2 heel that grips the approach. Kelly, more of a power player, doesn't like a real long slide. She wants to be in control at the foul line. So the players change their heels and soles according to the approaches. Tough break there.
Yeah, chops it, yep. And an open, she finds herself down by 49 after 7 in the championship match. And
this is just so tough after leading all week.
Yeah, it really is, and she's so much better than this. You know, not even indicative of her talent. One of the best players I've seen come along on the tour in a long time.
And it seems like she's been having problems just getting the ball in the pocket the entire match.
Yeah, she had a little trouble with her release on that shot. She's just, you know, she's, I think, in panic mode. I mean, what are you going to do?
And here is Kelly Kulik, down by 49, shooting at the spare in the 8th frame. She picks it up, but she certainly has her work cut out here.
She sure does. And, you know, Randy, you've probably been there. I mean, as a top seed when you just can't find anything.
I've never been there, Jan.
No? Never been a top seed?
I'm kidding. In this venue, you're not sure what your ball's going to do when it leaves your hand. It's really hard to pull the trigger, and that's what's happening with her.
Light hit that didn't carry.
On the other hand, Tennille knows exactly what her ball's doing. I mean, she's getting up there making good shots, couple light hits, but you know what? She's around the pocket. She's not getting into trouble, converting her spares. She's in full command.
And as long as Kelly's not striking, she doesn't have to change a thing.
Right.
If she can 9 spare, she's happy with that right now.
Yep.
And smart to stay with it.
And another spare conversion for Grijalva as she keeps rolling on here through 8 frames. She is up by 48.
Stay focused, make good shots, stay out of trouble, make your spares.
Well, you know, she told me that the hardest adjustment she's had to bowling on tour full-time is mentally. She's very tired mentally. She doesn't look tired at all to me mentally right now.
And certainly not with shots like that. We heard several of the bowlers mention that this week was mentally and physically grueling, but it doesn't appear that it's had any effects on Tennille Grijalva. She looks terrific here.
Look at that, getting out right around the first arrow, the ball breaking into a roll right there, flush. Nothing going to stand on that.
Incredible focus.
She's starting to feel it, too. She knows this is well in hand.
And again, Kulik misses the pocket.
Wow. I can only feel for her. I don't even... There is nothing probably that she can do that would be right now, because she wouldn't trust any decision she made right now. She needs to look down at her shoes. She has 2 notes on her shoes. The left shoe says stay slow, take your time, and trust. The right shoe says you're a great decision maker. Those 2 pieces of tape, it's written right on there, and she says she reads that all the time. Right now she needs to look at that and say, make the decisions you know are right.
Well, all she can do is finish out right now, as Grijalva has put all the nails in the coffin with a little bit of help from Kelly Kulik. And she is a little bit emotional right now, and she knows it. And you can see some tears start to flow, tears of joy.
Well, she knows she just won the U.S. Open.
How big is that? Her rookie year wins the U.S. Open. And that is an advance wedding gift.
Oh, listen to this crowd wanting her to strike.
You know, they appreciate what she's done all week. That's fantastic.
They are standing for her.
Kelly did not put up a strike this match.
Well, she can spare here and have one more shot at it.
Come on, and there it is. And the crowd certainly behind Kelly Kulik. They just want her to have a good afternoon, even though there, in fact, is your 2000 Women's U.S. Open champion, Tennille Grijalva. Certainly feeling it right now. What must be going through her mind? She is the champion. What an incredible effort. What an incredible week for her. Now there's a smile now.
Yeah.
Smile behind the tears.
It's going to be hard for her to get up and finish after she's already won. You know what?
What a girl. What a great sport.
Tremendous sport.
A lot of class going on out there. You'll see a lot of that young lady, folks.
Competitors and friends. Kelly Kulik's one and only strike in her last shot in the championship match. And that is not the first strike for Tennille Grijalva, who has had several, not only in this finals round, but also in the semifinal matchup.
That's why I'm crying.
I don't think she knows if she should laugh or cry. Tell you what, her parents, Ron and Mary Grijalva, have to be really excited right now, and it looks like Dad's going to be driving the van to Florida since she's made enough money. They're going to fly and make him cry.
And if you're going to win, you might as well go out with a flourish, and that is exactly what Tennille Grijalva is doing right now.
What a great smile she has. These new ladies on tour, they are tough, talented, and very personable.
Boy, that goes that they're 23 years old in the U.S. Open.
What an amazing finish for our women's 2000 U.S. Open champion, Tennille Grijalva of Orange, California. She is defeated Kelly Kulik, the top qualifier, by a score of 239 to 155. An incredibly happy scene here at the Arizona Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix, Arizona. Oh yes, Rookie of the Year wins one of the majors. We've got more, the men in fact, from Phoenix right after this.
Yeah, you want to switch?
For the real inside look at the world of sports. Chris Myers has the stories behind the stories on Going Deep. It's the 60 minutes of sports television, Sunday nights on Fox Sports Net. And a look at the men finalists for the 2000 U.S. Open. And here's a brief preview of the men. 4 gentlemen that will be bowling today for one of the majors. In the semifinal matchup, it's Jeff Lizzie versus reigning PBA Rookie of the Year, Paul Fleming. And I guess at this point, Randy Peterson, you'd have to say the leading candidate for PBA Player of the Year, and that would be Norm Duke, already with 3 tournaments, looking for his 4th in this, but even more importantly, and there is Norm Duke looking for the Triple Crown.
Norm would be the last guy in this telecast I'd want to go up against.
All right, we are set soon. Roland Smith has the job of running AMF, the world's largest bowling company. Earlier, we also asked him what he thinks drives AMF's success.
You know, there's really 2 things critical to our success. The first is a relentless commitment to excellent customer service. So whether it's customers that are buying and using our products or customers that are bowling in our centers. The second critical factor is our people. You know, AMF is a company of almost 17,000 people, and without them, we are literally nothing. So to all the folks in our plants and our centers, I want to offer them a special thank you for all the energy and effort they put in every single day.
And we are live looking at the handshake between 3 bowlers, Randy, who have worked tremendously hard to get here today. And there is the gentleman who, if he were to win the U.S. Open today, again, would capture bowling's Triple Crown. Only 4 other bowlers have done that. Norm Duke.
Hey, how about that shot to start? U.S. Open? Come on, bring it on. This guy told me all week long, hook the ball. Comes out with a straight ball. Watch this. That ball's straight right off the edge. Dead flush. 10 in the pit. Let's get it on.
Jeff Lizzie. And there's a look at Duke. Lizzie of Sandusky, Ohio. He is up next.
Oh.
And he follows suit.
I'll tell you what, Jeff Lizzie, one of the strongest guys on tour, can bench press over 300 pounds. He's ready. This guy hasn't won since '92.
And now the reigning PBA Rookie of the Year, looking for his first title, Paul Fleming, and not to be denied, Fleming also with a strike.
All I can say, Gary, is it's on.
Always a pleasure working with you, my friend. Norm Duke now. His first shot in the 2nd frame. He's got 19 PBA titles.
Wow.
That sounded huge in our headsets. Huge.
Wow. I'll tell you what, one of the most talented players ever throw a ball there, ladies and gentlemen.
And we will talk about his versatility next time we see Norm Duke.
Jeff Lizzie wants to get the crowd fired up. He's going, let's go! Let's get it on!
Lizzie is pumped up as well. He had LASIK eye surgery before this tournament. It has made a world of difference for him.
I'm going to keep it even.
And Fleming comes in high and leaves the 3.
That one duck hooking right before he gets in front of the head pin. He's going to go to a ball now that goes straighter. Looks like if you can't throw this ball down the lane, you could probably kick it down the lane.
Fleming has his right wrist taped. He's been having some real problems with his wrist of late. Lots up to spare.
Excuse me, Gary, I'm sorry. Lots of pain all day Friday. Had to go to a tape job and a wristband to keep his wrist from falling off. Lots of pain in that wrist.
And what happened there? Norm Duke, I've seen him do this. I think he did it last week in Tucson, pulled up and did not go.
Something's bothering him. Maybe one of the in-house video screens, something. The big screen to his left.
And there you see the big screen, and it could be a distraction as well. How much time do the bowlers have on each shot now? Is he basically making sure he has to get that shot off before the clock?
25 seconds. Nothing bothers this guy. 19 PBA titles. He collects his thoughts, comes back, throws a nice little mixer. Watch the action of the head pin here. Goes to the sidewall, slaps a couple of pins around.
And here is Lizzie. Trying to remain on an even par, but can't.
Ooh.
10 still standing.
That was a good shot. He wanted it. You heard him yell for it.
Paul Fleming now up for his first shot in the third frame, and he is working on a spare. And he will take the strike here.
I'll tell you what, Paul Fleming, one of the best shot makers on tour. I need to get him some butter to go with that sweet roll. Boy, can he roll the pearl.
Oh, my goodness. And Jeff Lizzie just cannot pick that up. Leaves the 10. That is an open for Lizzie in the third frame. Finds himself down by 23. And I'll tell you what, we've got plenty more coming your way in just a moment. Well, in the fourth frame, it is in fact Norm Duke up by 22 over Jeff Lizzie, and also up over Paul Fleming by 33 pins. And we do welcome you back to the Arizona Veterans Memorial Coliseum, former home of the Phoenix Suns and current home of the Phoenix Mustangs hockey team, as we take a look at Norm Duke. Talk about his versatility, one of the most versatile players in the game.
Well, like I said, he hooked the ball all week this week, and look where he's playing now. Right off the corner. He is the best at that shot. That soft floating shot right up the gutter. Nobody better, the PBA Tour or anywhere in the world, in my opinion, than that man right there.
Jeff Lizzie, like Paul Fleming, experiencing wrist problems. He broke both his wrists at the same time in motocross in high school, but this is simply wear and tear from the game, so he's having wrist problems as well, but not on that shot.
Well, you know, Jeff went to this wristband because he likes to put his, or kind of tilt his hand, and this wristband has changed his roll. Look at the great action there. Obviously, that roll is working.
Former Team USA member Paul Fleming puts up a strike in frame number 5, but he still has a lot of ground to make up, down by 33 to Duke.
Paul Fleming liking the left lane, struck every ball in that lane, having trouble with the right. He likes it. Yeah, baby.
And once again, the crowd just loves to roar, Duke.
Hey, how's that? Hey, America loves a winner, folks, and this guy's a winner. He knows how to win. He knows what it takes to get the job done. Now watch the action here. Norm knows he got away with one. A little heavy on the head pin. Trip 4-7. And watch those. Look at those eyes. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Ranked second in the PBA computer rankings here is Jeff Lizzie, and he answers with a strike.
Come on, Jeff. He says, you know what? I still got some left. This match isn't over yet.
Lizzie down by 22, and Fleming looking to put together a couple strikes here to keep himself on track and in the hunt, as a matter of fact.
Hasn't hit this lane yet.
He does.
You hear him, Gary? Come on.
And we are through 6 frames of the men's semifinal match in the U.S. Open, and it is Norm Duke, 22 over Lizzie, 33 over Paul Fleming. We'll be back. And we welcome you back to Phoenix, Arizona, and bowling's U.S. Open. This is the semifinal match of the men's championship. And right now, standing by with the top qualifier is Jan Schmidt. Jan?
Robert, you've been out here on tour for 3 years, haven't been real happy with your success. In fact, you considered quitting. You made a big change. What'd you do?
I went back home after the first swing earlier this year, and I came back and I switched my grip around. I went to a grip called Sarge Easter. Basically, all it is everything stays the same, but drop the ring finger down from the fingertip to a conventional grip. What it's done is actually allowed me to get the ball off my hand a little easier, so now the feel's a little bit better. So when I do throw bad shots, I can actually tell what's going on. So far, it's been really good this week, so hopefully it keeps going.
It's definitely gone good. Congratulations. Good luck today. Back to you, Gary.
All right, Jan, and Brandy, that new grip has certainly put Robert Smith in good stead here in the U.S. Open as we return to the semifinal match. And again, it is Norm Duke in control, looking for his 4th title this year. 22 over Lizzie, 33 over Fleming. He's up in the 8th frame, and Randy, this guy is just as hot as they come.
Feeling it. I mean, this guy, what can I say? I can't say enough about Norm Duke. This ball just going to flush, 6-pin going to the wall, cutting the 10 out, and watch this reaction. He's running it out. He knows it.
Here's Lizzie, and Lizzie didn't like it as soon as it came off his hand. You can hear the reaction from Lizzie early on. He did not like that as soon as it left his hand.
No, bounced it into the heads a little bit. Not really sure what causes Jeff to do that. But when that happens, it takes revs and rotation off the ball, and the ball usually is not going to hook.
Reigning PBA Rookie of the Year, trying to get the job done here. And fortunately, at least gets the 7 to kick out late, just the 10 remaining.
Well, you know, the other two guys, Lizzie and Fleming, are bowling. They're bowling well, but they're just not doing enough to catch this Norm Duke.
Jeff Lizzie converts, but he has fallen behind by 34 now. So that spare cost him dearly as we watch Paul Fleming finish out his 8th frame. He is down by 44. And we'll take a look at the score. Let's recap it through 8 frames. And in the semifinal matchup, Norm Duke, a comfortable lead. He is in a zone. He is up by 34 over Lizzie, 44 over Paul Fleming. And here he is in the foundation frame. And Randy, how do you stop that?
He didn't even like that shot. He put his hands up going, oh, God, don't give me any trouble. Lisa, soft 10, 6 goes to the wall, and tomahawks the 10 out. Watch this. He doesn't even like it. He's going, come on, ball, please. 6 goes into the gutter and just tomahawks the 10.
Lizzie desperate to stay close. That's the best he can do. You can't do any better than that. But if Duke keeps striking, obviously this one is history.
Paul Fleming on the left lane. Beautiful shot. Just lucky to be here. Talked to a couple of his reps, Steve Klumpkin and Hank Boomershine. Said he's even lucky to be here today. His wrist was so bad. Watch this ball. This is what you want to copy at home. Just beautiful. What a great touch he has.
5 in a row for Duke heading into the 10th, and 8 strikes in the first 9 frames. Oh my.
279 possible. He knows it. He's moving on to bowl the title of what he said to me earlier, the biggest tournament of his life.
They cannot catch him now.
No
matter what Lizzie or Fleming do, they can strike out. But this semifinal match belongs to this man, Norm Duke, after his 4th of the year, 20th of his career, and the Triple Crown. If you're Robert Smith waiting to take on Norm Duke, what are you thinking right now?
I'm thinking maybe get a bat, or I'm thinking I better tighten my belt up a couple of notches and give him all I got. Jeff Lizzie with possible 224. He makes a spare. And you know what? As great as Norm Duke is bowled, and there he is. Okay, congratulations from the other two guys. As great as Norm Duke is bowled today, let's not take away from the other two guys, Jeff Lizzie and Paul Fleming, and what a great job they did all week just to get here.
And there, a look at the man who is having a career year right now. He said the win in Tucson last week gave him incredible confidence. This was going to be the most important tournament of his life.
Great shot by Paul Fleming. He's going to really enjoy the next couple of months off. Get that wrist back into shape. But just another great player. You know, the condition this week, what I would term as being ugly, and just a big mental grind for these guys, and it's just a credit to their ability that they got this far.
Paul Fleming finishing out now in the semifinal match. Leaves the 10.
They ran into a buzzsaw.
Both of those guys bowled very well.
They did. I mean, you know, there's not a whole lot of, well, there's no defense in bowling, just offense, and nothing you can do to Norm Duke when he's putting it to you like that.
Oh, it's lights out from Norm Duke. He is ready for the championship match against the top qualifier, Robert Smith, and we will have it for you when we return to Phoenix in a moment. And welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona for the 2000 U.S. Open, one of bowling's majors. There, a look at the final score in the men's semifinal matchup. Norm Duke, another huge win, 279. Jeff Lizzie, 224. Paul Fleming, 214. So Duke now will move on to the championship match. And other finishers in the top 24 this week here in Phoenix.
Brian Kretzert, one of the amateurs in the tournament, almost got in there. I like to call him Pocket Brother. because he hits the pocket a lot. Danny Wiseman in 11th from Baltimore. Bob Learn, my buddy Bob Learn Jr. from, well, he says Harbor Creek, I say Erie, PA. Jason Couch at 16th. We got Mark Masabi in 19th, Amleto Monticelli in 20th. And, well, those are some of the girls that bowled on the other side. So, here we are, getting ready for the title match.
Here we are, and a look at Robert Smith. Ranked 32nd. 2 TV finals appearances so far this year, just shy of $100,000 in earnings, but he is a young man who is one of the top young bowlers on the tour today, as Norm Duke and Robert Smith shake hands and prepare for this most exciting championship match. And both players really in his own. I mean, Robert Smith leading for a good portion of the week in match play and qualifying, and Duke just blowing out the water today.
Well, that's the way you start a championship match for the U.S. Open title. Get up there and throw a little soft 10. Now, folks, take a look at this man coming up. Well, before that, take a look at this replay here. We call that the little mixer or swisher. 10's 10 in my book. Folks, get ready, because here comes some rocket fuel. High-octane Robert Smith, highest rev rate on the PBA Tour.
Robert Smith's in California, and he is cooking early as well. So both players open up with strikes in the first frame of the championship match.
Excuse me, Gary. Look at that ball 10 in the pit. And he says, all right, we've got it going on now. We've started. Let's get this thing, let's get it on.
As we mentioned, Randy, Smith's grip, he's changed it. He can throw a spare shot at 27 miles per hour. He's hoping he doesn't have to deal with that today. And he's got the highest rev rate on the PBA Tour, as we saw some of it there. But what happened?
Well, that ball, I think it was left of target, and that ball went through the face, leaving the 3-6-9-10. Watch this ball just hooking so sharp to the back end. And the problem is the back pin, the 9-pin now. He's got to get the ball to the right side of the 3-pin and cover the 9-pin with the ball.
As we welcome Jan Schmidt back to the booth, we watch Robert Smith attempt to pick up the spare in the second frame, and he could not do it. So an open in the second for Smith.
Right idea to get it to the right, but the ball just never grabbed the lane, and he knows it. It's like, oh, man.
Duke up by 12. Heading into his second frame.
Left.
Now we see the big four, and guys, we don't see this picked up all that often, and this certainly leaves the door open for Robert Smith.
Well, now, this ball's left out of his hand all the way, goes right through the face, leaving the big four. And not only do you not see the spare made often, you never see the spare made.
Never's a good time.
Unless you have 2 balls and a broomstick. Make a liar out of me, Norm. All right, we'll try it. The important thing is the second frame is working on a strike. You go for the count. You know, get 2 pins, maybe get lucky, get 3. Going for it and only getting 1, you lose a lot of count.
Once again, we welcome back Jan Schmidt.
Thank you. Pleasure to be up here. I'm glad you'd let me join you again.
Thank you, Jan, for coming up.
I'm surprised Randy was going to let you borrow the microphone at all.
I know. I hear he likes to hang on to it.
As Duke leaves the 10, and we saw Norm Duke talking to himself a little bit there, settling himself down, just trying to get his composure and remain on track. And there's the 10-pin. He's not happy with that either.
Well, that's a soft 10. The ball coming in just a little bit light. We saw Norm tomahawk one earlier in the match previous to this. And the problem with the approach, he covers the spare, no problem. But here's the thing, 279 out of the gate, big rush, we're going to bowl for the title. Next thing you know, we go strike, big 4-9 spare.
Well, Robert's lucky to still be in this match the way Norm was lined up.
Right, exactly. I mean, Norm shoots 279 out of the gate. You expect Norm to come right back out, go wham, wham, wham. Next thing you know, he's got an open second frame. Robert Smith leading by 2 pins.
6 foot, 220. He used all of his 220 pounds behind that one.
Yeah, and here's the thing. What Norm Duke is doing with the ball going straight up the gutter, that's his forte. This isn't Robert Smith's forte, going straight. He's forced to play Norm's game. He's out on the gutter. He likes that shot. The thing about it is he's better at hooking the ball. Right now he's trying to go a little bit straighter.
Real pretty shot. And here's Robert Smith now up in the fourth frame, and he is holding on to a 2-pin lead. So we have a very, very tight match right now in the men's championship of the US Open.
And I bet Robert, and he knows that in order to beat Norm Duke, he's got to beat him at his own game. He's just got to make better shots like this one right here. And watch this reaction. Come on.
That was a good one. Duke trying to answer here. He is working on a spare and trails by 12 now. That is the way to get himself back on track. He is settled in, and he knows what he needs to do to win his 20th career title.
Watch this. This looks like one of Jan Smith's strikes.
Hey!
She did this many times in her career.
What do you mean, knock them all down?
Knock them all down.
Oh, okay.
Many
I thought you were talking about how the
no.
ball hit.
No, your ball hits much harder than that.
I'll tell you what, these guys, this is what it's all about and why these guys are so good. They can play any line in the pocket they have to and get it done.
Second time in the first 5 frames that Duke has done that. Leave the big 4.
Big 4 on the right lane, big 4 now on the left lane. This ball again looks left of target. I don't know if the lanes are breaking down in front of Norm or if that was just a bad shot. I mean, the line looked pretty good. All of a sudden, the ball hooks in front of the head pin. Well, 4, 6, 7, 10. Object here is to try to slide the 6 over into the 4 and into the 7. Virtually impossible to make.
Well, you know, in that first match, it looked like all those shots were just laying off at the last second for Norm, and now they're continuing through the head pin. He's not getting the break he was earlier.
Right, and one of the big things during the week was that the lanes did break down quite rapidly, and the guys were moving around a lot. You know, you'd think with the straight ball that Norm throws, he wouldn't have to move as much. Maybe it's time to make an adjustment.
And Duke down by 26. Smith could extend his lead with a strike, and he does.
A little high-octane stuff coming right at you. That's in-your-face stuff for Robert Smith. He says, you know what, I'm going to get out on that gutter. I'm going to play that Norm Duke shot, and I'm going to strike.
Nothing better than striking at the B game.
Man, I'm telling you.
Runner-up for 1998 Rookie of the Year honors, looking for his first PBA national title. He's got 3 regional titles. And he has been waiting as long as some of the other PBA players have for their first national title, but I'm sure he would absolutely love to have this one.
This will take a 36-pin lead.
Ouch.
Well, this is what we saw all week long at Christown Lanes. You make a bad shot, you pay for it.
They're definitely paying this game, both.
This ball's left all the way. He knows it. He wants it to hold. He's waving it right, and not a real good break, leaving the 4. What is that? The 3, 4, 6, 7. I can't even say it, much less make it. Got to get this right of the 3-pin, slide it over. Look out.
Oh, what a shot by Robert Smith. And I guarantee you that Norm Duke thought that was his opening. And Robert Smith may have closed the door, but there's plenty more bowling to come when we return to Phoenix and the US Open. And welcome back, everybody, through 5.5 frames of the men's championship match with Norm Duke on the approach. It is, in fact, Duke down by 32 pins to top qualifier Robert Smith. And, you know, should Norm Duke be able to pull this off today, he would become the 5th player in the history of the PBA to win a triple crown. And I was almost going to ask you, Randy Peterson, if you knew the other 4. Just a little pop quiz, but we're not going to do that. Here's his shot.
Needs to get it going. Oh, yeah. All right. Looks like he might have moved in a little bit. Still throwing with the straight shot, but looks like he might have inched into the center of the lane.
He'll need a bunch more of those, but we have seen him do it before.
6 goes to the wall, cuts the 10 in half. And watch this reaction. All right, come on now. Let's get it going, Norm.
Hey, you know, these two have met before. 1994, when Robert Smith finished second to Norm Duke in the championship match of the AC Delco Classic. And today, Robert Smith looking for some redemption, but Norm Duke says, buddy, I'm looking for another win over you.
And there's a caliber move of a 19-time champion. He moved into the center, in towards center of the lane a little bit more, arced it a little bit more, believed in his shot, dead flush.
Robert Smith working on a spare. Leads by 22.
He's up.
Whoa! Came back a long way.
Hey, that's why you're supposed to hook it, Jan? I didn't know that.
I certainly didn't.
Wow. This ball's going to go right. Looks like it's going to be a little bit light. Look at the revolutions. The highest rev rate on the PBA tour. Watch the action of the head pin. Nothing but shrapnel left. And he's liking it. Come on, ball hook. Oh, yeah.
With that strike, Robert Smith up by 22 and moving into the 8th frame. Again, these two met in 1994. Duke comes out on top in the AC Delco championship match, but Robert Smith was the first amateur to be the top seed going into that show. Both bowlers working on strikes. Duke has 2 in a row. There, a look at Jack Kelly right in the middle there with the casual look. Chief Executive Officer of the Bowling Proprietors Association of America, enjoying the action here today.
Big row of dignitaries there sitting around. Jack Moran, BPAA, and Mike McCat from BPAA. It is their tournament, so they're all out.
Robert Smith taking a re-rack. The reason for our little delay. Wants to make sure everything's perfect.
And reasons for a re-rack, Randy?
You know, sometimes it's just to catch your breath. Sometimes it's to get your thoughts together. Sometimes, you know, the pins are off spot. Oh, fall.
Leaves the 2-4-8 sleeper behind, and he'll get to take that spare in just a moment, a shot at it. Meanwhile, time to take a look at the Dexter footwork of the pros.
Robert takes a 5-step approach. He's wearing the number 2 sole and number 2 heel for maximum power and leverage. Notice how that foot gets there way before the ball. And look at that great knee bend. That's leverage. That's how you're able to stand on it like this guy. Right now he needs to convert this spare. Needs a hook. What am I saying needs a hook when it's Robert Smith?
It's automatic.
Unbelievable revolutions. I mean, you can really see that ball.
Yeah.
And now Norm Duke, still down by 22.
Well, you know, he had 2 big 4s early in the match, but I think the important thing right now is he's on a double. That means he made the adjustment he needed to make. Look for a 3rd strike right here. That's what I'm talking about.
Norm Duke back on the right track now. Lost a little bit, and you could tell he was talking to himself a little bit, settled down. The sign of a true champion, as you pointed out earlier, Randy. 19 career titles. A guy that wins 19 doesn't get to that stage by not knowing what to do when adversity strikes during the course of a match, and he has certainly made the corrections. Robert Smith, again, coming in as the top qualifier, tremendously intense, particularly for a young man.
Oh! There's a 4-bagger at you after 2 big 4s. Let me make a little bit of a move here, and I'm going to come back with a 4-bagger. Norm Duke strikes out, it's 222. Robert Smith strikes out, it's 224. Watch the action of the headpin go to the sidewall. Ask for some friends to come over for some help, and he knows it. He's into it. Watch this. Oh, and look at the crowd. They're loving it.
In the 5th frame of this championship match, Norm Duke was down by 32. In the 9th, midway through the 9th, he is down by 2.
He was closing his eyes there. Did you see? He didn't want to look at what's going on.
Get it! Oh, big
and
shot.
Robert Smith leaving the 10.
Big shot. He knows it. It was a 9th frame, foundation frame, wanted to hit there. Now watch this. The headpin's going to go to the sidewall. Look at the revolutions. Watch it come bird hunting for the 10. He doesn't get there.
And once again, Norm Duke has put himself in a position to win.
Oh, no.
And that obviously does not count. He doesn't get the credit for the pin, the 10 pin, because it was in the channel first.
Once the ball leaves the lane, it's done.
Let's take a look at this score. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not going to believe this. Over the course of 4 frames, it's been a 42-pin swing. And now, Robert Smith, finds himself down by 10 to Norm Duke, who is working on a 4-bagger.
Robert Smith needs to throw 3 strikes in the 10th frame here to force Norm Duke to get the first hit in the 10th to win the United States Open. He's got to have this shot. There you go. All right, deep breath. Gain your composure. Really bad mistake for Robert Smith in the 9th frame. Got to blow it off. Now we need to throw 3 in the 10th. And it doesn't get any better than that shot.
Right. Threw a great shot after that. I think he's disgusted right now, though. He has to be.
Well, you know, the first one doesn't mean anything unless you get the second one. This is the big hit right here. He's lay off. All right.
You know, he knew what he had to do, and now he's going about and doing it. He's gotten 2 of the first 3 in the 10th frame. He needs this one, obviously, and then puts the pressure back on Duke.
You can't ask for any more. For a title match, United States Open, a hit right here will force Norm Duke to get the first strike in the 10th frame to win. Basically whatever Robert Smith does here, Norm has to do. Robert gets 9 spare for Norm Duke, 9 spare strike wins. Got to have this hit. There you go.
What a finish.
He did the best he could do finishing out, and he finishes out with a 2-0-2. And for Norm Duke, a strike and 6 will win the tournament. So Norm Duke obviously needing this first strike. He also knows what he needs to do. It's his tournament now to win.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can bet this anywhere you want that Norm Duke will make the shot he needs to make. It's whether or not the ball will carry.
Strike and 6 pins.
Oh, and he didn't make it.
Oh, my. Oh.
Robert Smith's the winner. Robert Smith, United States Open champion.
Unbelievable. And I think he was stunned there for a second so incredibly. The way, in a sense, that Norm Duke wins the tournament last week, but it was Chris Barnes's to win in Tucson, and Norm Duke could just sit there and watch, and he wins it. Now, the tables are turned on him this week.
Bad call on my part. I didn't think there was any doubt Norm would make the shot. He didn't make the shot.
He didn't take any time on that shot, Randy. He just jumped right up and went.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jan. And that ball lacked rotation and revolution. That ball never turned over down the lane. Very uncharacteristic for Norm Duke.
And Norm Duke to finish out now. Robert Smith is speechless at this point. Norm Duke accepting the goodwill from the crowd, but Robert Smith is one happy player. We'll be back to Phoenix in a moment.
And
Bowling's U.S. Open presented by AMF was brought to you by AMF. AMF always means fun. Dickey's, a legend in work. BPAA, the Bowling Proprietors Association of America, bringing you America's premier bowling competition. And by New Skin, stays on when bandages fall off. And welcome back, everybody, to Phoenix, Arizona, and the championship of the BPAA U.S. Open. What an incredible performance today by our champions. Of course, we have Tennille Grijalva here on my right, the women's champion, and to my far right, Robert Smith, who I think at this point is still a little speechless. Congratulations to both of you. Also joining me right now, to my left, is Roland Smith, President and CEO of AMF, and also to my far left is Michael Duquette, who is President of the Bowling Proprietors Association of America. Thank you for joining us. Right now, we have to say goodnight. Thanks to everybody, AMF, the BPAA, and again to our champions, Tennille Grijalva and Robert Smith, U.S. Open champions for the year 2000. For all of us